Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Kaiserreich. We're playing as Boris Savinkov, and everyone is mad at us. How did that happen? Sausages for everyone! Doctor sausages. Those Svobodniks have been called butchers before. Party flags fluttering above a meat processing plant is still a novelty. Much fanfare has surrounded the first Moscow sausage factory. Built with the experience and capital of both Russia and Germany, the testament of what can be done when two sausage-loving nations work together. Sadly, its finances and management leave much to be desired. Profits were meager since opening in 1933, as the Moscow sausages proved unable to compete in Europe and were too pricey for Russians. The factory's German owners, Halberstader Wertschen, probably sold to the Russian government in the wake of Black Monday for a pittance. The SCRS have since transformed the first Moscow sausage factory into a prototype for their economic vision. The factories come under the management of the SCRS-led Artel, a traditional form of trade cooperative given a national populist makeover. With the government's blessing, further workers now run the factory under the supervision of party-approved elders. Modern dormitories and a church have been constructed near the factory's grounds to develop a sense of community. Additionally, the plants have been retooled to produce more affordable products. Rumor has it that President Savinkov himself has insisted that new, heartier sausages be developed. After all, Russian peoples will be as hungry as her factories with the work that lies ahead. It remains to be seen how practical such a transformation can be across Russia, but this sausage stunt has captured public attention. The new and ostensibly healthy Doctor's sausages are already a hit. Sausages for everyone. Okay. Oh my god. Alright, this isn't good. Belgium's declared independence. The black, white, and red in Germany. Good luck, Belgium. Holy guacamole, Indochina. There's a lot of stuff happening. Give me a moment. Okay, so assassination of Ibrahim Chulikov. Grim news has arrived from the Caucasus. Ibrahim Chulikov, a long-standing friend of Russia and a pillar of government support in Chechnya, has died after an attack by unknown assailants. Chulikov and a group of relatives stumbled into an ambush as they were returning from a hunting trip on the outskirts of the town of Stary Atagai. Struck by several rifle shots, Chulikov perished almost instantly. Though Chulikov's companions returned fire, none of the ambushers were captured, and any dead were carried off the field before they could be retrieved. This is unwelcome news in Moscow, who has watched with concern as control over Chechnya and Ingushetia has weakened in the past years. Chulikov was instrumental in liberating Chechnya from the unholy alliance of Bolshevik and Unzin Khalzi's Caucasus Imamate during the Civil War. Since then, the Chulikov family have acted as vital intermediaries between the Russian government and the local Chechens, crushing dissent, but rewarding loyalty generously. With Ibrahim's death, the Chulikovs have been fatally weakened. Other members of the broader Gendargani type clan have already emerged to carve out pockets of influence, and many make no secret about their hostility to Russia. Policing the region will likely become substantially more difficult. This could lead to future problems. Ha ha ha! End the Vilnius Agreement. The Russian government freezes the Vilnius Accords. The short period of post-Russian Civil War recovery was cut short by the global economic depression of 1925, and the only place we could go for credit was the old enemy in Berlin. In 1926, a Faustian bargain was struck with Germany in the shape of the German-Russian Trade and Credit Agreement. The price? Golden shackles by Rheinmetall. The Russian economy grew, yes, but it grew unfairly, unequally, and ultimately turned both the left and the right against the liberal idealism of the Republic. On the 11th of April, 1936, the treaty would have needed to be reviewed again for it to remain in power. It was not. While Germany has been offering to renew it, fearful of massive economic disruption, we remain steadfast. The Russian interest rate has soared overnight, but they've also been able to trigger tariffs and additional taxes against businesses from Middle Europa, and have gained the legal basis to start demolishing the German economic shackles around Russia. The first steps towards liberty. Should probably work on that war of motors thing I keep talking about. That seems important. These seem interesting. Franco-Russian treaty. These are all useful, but we're going to war of motors. Nothing unites in the world. Unites Russians quite like their antipathy for the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk. The spirit of revanchism burns bright, but the righteous indignation is just one step in a long journey. Russia must prepare herself for the mortal struggles to come, a war of minds and motors. Ooh, how exciting. Huh? Let's see. Ooh, National Mineral Extraction Law. Railway Nationalization Law. How's the Black Russia? Ooh, not good. Black Monday is still... we're in bad shape. Let's see. We probably want to wait to raise the tariff wall. Ooh, tax foreign shares. Let's do that. If foreign businesses are taking advantage of Russia's great wealth, it's only fair they'd be taxed to hell for it. It's time for the Prussian to contribute something constructive. Taxation. The Congress of RL. Belgium returns to the world stage. Okay. Belgium's not convinced. Uh-oh. Belgium's on its own. Mustafa Kemal is shot. Surprises are nowhere. International propaganda. Ooh. We're not going to utilize the army quite yet. In 12 days, we're going to increase popular anger. That will be significant. Okay. I have to make decisions. I hate doing that. I'm so bad at it. I'm bad at decisions. Alright, we're still on 36. Medium tanks. We probably want better armor at some point. Okay, so. Anti-aircraft, anti-aircraft, anti-aircraft. Extended barrel life. Decrease minimum funds requirement. Increase army experience gained by 50%. I don't know how. And in what context. Oh, requirement for size up increased. Requirement for size up increased. I don't know. When it says increase army experience gained by 50%, it means increase army experience gained by 50% every time we trigger an army experience gain from this. It doesn't make any sense otherwise. Incrementally gain army experience when this military organization is... Yeah. So we're going to get this one. Boom. Instead of just, like, getting it immediately. Oh, boy. Republicans win Serbian elections. Can idealism really survive in the Balkans again? Everyone is so idealist. Ideology. Look at that. We got social conservatives, social liberals, national populists. It's less than ideal, but like, oh, we got liberals. Oh, social democrats. Oh, conservatives. Oh, national populists. Anyways. Proceed. Okay, Romania and Greece have joined the Belgrade Pact. It's party time. That pact. Foundation of the Belgrade Pact. Hopefully, the Balkans won't start another world war. Hopefully. Do we have the option to... Yeah, we already sponsored Belgrade. Uh, yeah. Yeah. Anyways. Oh, boy. Land reform in Turkestan. Turkestan? Which... We have a lot of popularity here right now. Turkestan, which in Russia refers to the entire Central Asia, which, yeah, I didn't necessarily know that, has been a destination for Russia's excess peasants since the Stolypin reforms. And while migration has slowed somewhat over the past decades and increased dramatically, as the SCRS's own land reform has gotten underway, since much of the arable land in Turkestan has already been settled by 1910, many of the current settlers are instead decamping around the Kyrgyz steppe. This has drawn the ire of the locals, particularly the Kyrgyz Kazakh nomads, who are accusing the settlers of disrupting their traditional migration routes, which I bet they are. Even the Cossacks, typically the policing arm of the Russian state in the region, have voiced their complaints about settlers stealing unused land that the Cossacks keep for their herds. Nor has Turkestan escaped controversy. Though facing fewer settlers, Turkestani villages have been singled out by the government for similar consolidation and modernization campaigns as the Russian counterparts. The transition from the region's quasi-feudal Kishlak to the more modern Shurkot has proven controversial for many of the same reasons it has in Russia. The peasants dislike consolidating fields and resent the supervision of the outsiders. However, the situation is far more volatile in Turkestan, where the locals are claiming with some justification that the councils of land division are overwhelmingly Russian and biased accordingly. Central Asian officials and peasants alike have banded together to demand that local tribunals be established to represent the interests of indigenous population. There's little doubt these tribunals will hamper a reform campaign, so several party officials are quietly suggesting the army and the Cossacks be mobilized to help nip this problem in the bud. The end results of land reform will be better, and the Kazakh rebellion grows in strength. Deal harshly with the dissent. Chaos in the capital. Massive illegal protests and strikes have consumed the nation. Yes, we've done our best to destroy the socialist organization and kill or imprison their leaders, but the Socialist Revolutionary Underground Network remains remarkably strong. We would know. We used to be socialist revolutionaries. Something Savinkov would know from... Okay, I didn't even read that part. Something Savinkov would know from experience. Yeah, I was going to say. These are your boys. And girls. The Moscow protests are led by Nikolai Martyov and Andrei Kolgyov, and despite police breaking them apart multiple times, have continued for 3 days. The armed militants operating under cover of the protests have intensified their attacks on key SCRS personnel in some districts. The police have even been steadily losing confidence in the central government's orders. The situation is even worse in Petrograd, and day by day, protests are already spreading in most cities. Almost 100 people have died already, and the only reason keeping the Zod from ordering mass slaughters the field of the military may not be entirely on his own side, so he has to be careful about whom to trust. With Gostraza units and a few absolutely loyal divisions handling potential mass executions, it will be a tense night in Moscow. The revolutionaries overwhelm the capital, and chaos drowns in blood. The revolutionaries overwhelm the capital. Gets event, beginning of the October Revolution. Oh boy. Beginning of the October Revolution. The grip of Savinkov's security apparatus has been... I need to slow this down. Rapidly weakening. Petrograd has been the focal point of the protests, but people have taken to the streets across most cities, demanding an end to new serfdom in the artels, and putting an end to arbitrary violence committed by the SCRS. There have been thousands of arrests and executions, but the police and military seem to be increasingly passive or even disloyal, either having been swayed by revolutionary propaganda or simply having little love for Savinkov's regime. By the end of the week, a massive number of people have gathered in Red Square, demanding... Is it called Red Square in this? I don't know if that's true. But anyways, demanding Savinkov address them directly. Against the wishes of his security staff and seemingly full of belief in his own persona, the president decided to speak to his people. Hoping to appeal to the masses like in his heyday. Savinkov's presence calmed the square briefly as loudspeakers blasted his calm words to the masses, but did not last. A bundle of grenades was thrown through the crowd, and all hell broke loose. People from the crowd started shooting, and Savinkov's personal guard responded. Bodies littered the square as bystanders bit the lead. After minutes of chaos, over 30 lay dead, including Savinkov himself, who'd caught shrapnel to his face and died of catastrophic bleeding. He went out the way that, went out the way that a night of terror should go out. After the head of the snake was cut, the regime began to quickly collapse. Communications hubs and railway stations of Moscow were taken over by soldiers with red armbands, and soon they were broadcasting news to all Russia. Savinkov was dead, shot by socialist revolutionaries. Again, it's so funny, this version of Savinkov being killed, because, he's a guy, he is an SR terrorist who was killed by SR terrorists who performed a provisional government to return power to the people from the tyrants. Long live free Russia. We are so not out of the woods yet. Yeah, the national anger stuff. Oh, cool. Army demands doesn't matter. Hey, we did it. Now they're going to deal with whole new problems. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, formation of the provisional government. Hey, it's Maria Spiridonova. All right. All right. Formation of the provisional government. After the immediate smoke had dispersed, the situation became clear. Forces loyal to the socialist revolutionaries held the capital and also managed to take power in Petrograd. It's October, too! Petrograd, Yekaterinburg, and a number of other major cities. A government headed by Boris Kamkov was convened, which included delegates elected by workers' unions and peasants' councils of the Moscow region, though in practice only anti-Savinkovists are even allowed to run. The new government quickly made a number of important appointments. General Yuri Sablin was to serve as the war minister, while Yakov Blumkin's combat organization was officially merged with the police, and he was appointed to lead it. Maria Spiridonova, well, a respected revolutionary, was elected as the first president. Proper national elections were promised to be arranged as soon as the remnants of Savinkov loyalists had been destroyed to ensure the freedom of the people. Prepare for the reactionary backlash. Ouch time. Oh boy. Oh boy. Hey, we're here. Yeah, it is officially party time. Anyways. Uh-oh. Seems bad. Anyways. We're gonna maybe concentrate our forces in sort of the urban areas. It's like this urban belt down to Tsaritsyn. Yeah. Anyways. Prepare for a reactionary backlash indeed. Uh-oh. Okay. Mere days had passed since the death of Savinkov. Many of the SZRS top names had been arrested, shot, or fled the country. In a daring attempt to turn the tides, Generals Vladimir Manstein and Antonin Turkul, who still commanded sway in garrisons near Moscow, launched a counter-coup. With a column of armed forces and cavalry, they managed to take over a part of southern Moscow. They'd hoped that the large parts of the Moscow garrison would defect to these whites, but this did not happen. It seems that very few people had interest in dying for the late Vzad's dream. After a brief battle in Zevnogorod, the majority of the putschists surrendered. Manstein was court-martialed and shot in the field. Blumkin's security forces immediately began investigating everyone connected to the aborted coup attempt and recommended launching a large-scale reorganization of the army command to demote suspected Savinkovists from all position and replace them with convinced Democrats. To avoid invoking greater backlash, many of the old white war heroes were given military pensions and persuaded to retire in good order, and in all fairness, they do not seem very excited about serving under socialists either. With these changes, much of the security apparatus is cleansed from anti-socialist forces. The old establishment withers away. Gains events. Through struggle, you will rise. Socialist revolution in Russia. Boris Savinkov is dead. As the president's actions increasingly angered both the populace and the military, mass protests broke out on Red Square, and Savinkov was shot dead by a socialist revolutionary. Well, he got exploded, but still. As gunfire sounded through the capital. Amidst the chaos, the once banned Party of Socialist Revolutionaries, with the support of the masses, took control of the major cities across the country and declared a provisional government. Conspirators in the military, aligned to the SCRS, reportedly attempted a failed coup, which has only emboldened the new government to take action against its opponents. Russia has seemingly become a socialist nation almost overnight. They're the Russian Socialist Republic. Development that would have far-reaching consequences for Europe and the world. What does this mean for us? Indeed. We are all asking this. Okay. Okay. Oh boy. Samarkand Socialists. Yeah, that's worth it. Samarkand Socialists reach out for help. The recent rise of our socialist movement has certainly not gone unnoticed by the wild world, but we are somewhat surprised to receive a small diplomatic envoy hailing from the Emirate of Bukhara. Bukhara represent! These men were not representatives of the Emir, however, who had remained profoundly silent, likely waiting for a white counter-revolution, which will never come. They instead hailed from the socialist movement in the Bukharan city of Samarkand, which has been on the receiving end of violent reactionary oppression for the last few years. While the Emir is happy to whip his subject into some form of submission, it appears his harsh actions have bred considerable resentment. And the underground Samarkand socialists are supported by much of their city. Unfortunately, these revolutionaries have also aligned themselves with Samarkand's bourgeois and reactionary religious leaders, and even more concerningly with the government of conservative warlord Madmin Bek. While they clearly suffer for the cause, their links to reactionary movements are worrying, indicative of both their limited control of the city and their ideological impurity. Of course, such shortcomings can be overlooked, and should we send them home with some aid in their quest for liberation against we should certainly send them home with some aid in the quest for liberation against a shared enemy in the region. The question is simply how much. Invest heavily in these brave fighters. Besieged Kronstadt. A worrisome standstill has been playing out in Petrograd for days now. The Supreme Admiral Kolchak has not yet appeared to the people of Petrograd, instead remaining on his flagship, the General Alexeyev, anchored outside the city. The Baltic Fleet and the Kronstadt garrisons have not responded to communications beyond acknowledging them. The city itself is in control of the people. Most of the Petrograd garrisons are among the first units to switch side and start arresting svobodniks who had never been particularly liked in the city. The old admiral is no doubt seething over the fact that socialists have risen to power again, but this time he seems to be very alone. Still, he is surrounded by loyal sailors, battalions of naval infantry, and control of a massive amount of firepower aimed at the heart of Russia. A heated debate sprang up in Petrograd about what to do. Is Kolchak planning something? Are the counter-revolutionaries planning their move? Or is he simply genuinely confused, with nothing left but his fleet? Finally, the government delegated Petrograd's city commissar to board the General Alexeyev and negotiate with Kolchak to turn his fleet over in exchange for a peaceful retirement with honors. On the ship, the old supreme leader of Russia seemed a gray husk of himself. He merely remarked that perhaps Russia and he have grown apart, and he no longer knows his country. The worst fears of coup plans were unfounded, and the admiral was simply proved to be disappointed and tired. After some persuasion, he agreed to inform the government of his resignation and expressed his desire to keep his chairmanship in the Council of Arctic Studies. A catastrophe averted. Through struggle you will rise. In 1918, Maria Alexandrovna Spiridonova declared to Lenin, "Our movement cannot be destroyed by you or any other temporary reaction, for it lives in the hearts of the people. It is hidden in the deep recesses of their minds. The revolutionary rebirth will surely occur under the banner of this ideal. It is the ideal of the liberation of the human personality. It seems that this moment has finally arrived." As the socialist revolutionary entered the Senate Palace in the Kremlin fortress with her comrades, the movement felt unreal. After 40 years of struggle, just as the socialist revolutionary motto promised, they were finally in the highest position of Russia, without Lenin or bourgeois presidents to keep them down. From this fortress, thousands of socialists have been put to death, tortured, and imprisoned. Every one of the old SRs present has now experienced that. Is this finally the end of it? In the dawn of a freer Russia? The office is messy, and its values have been looted by some SZRS bureaucrat who's probably halfway to Minsk by now. Sporadic gunshouts ring out in the street of Moscow, but they do not seem to bother Comrade Maria Alexandrovna too much anymore. Ironically, the years spent hiding from the Vazad's Zod's Okrana has almost reinvigorated the SRs and made them remember the roots, their struggle. They lost to Lenin once, and Savinkov almost finished them off. They cannot afford to fail a third time. Too much blood has been spilled by the Russian people to achieve their freedom to stop now. A bright future! Brighter future dawns! The Russian Socialist Republic completes the red flag over the Kremlin. Oh boy. Party. Let's see. Okay. We will see if this does the thing that we want it to do. Anyways. I will see you... We may also need to do this. Anyways, I will see you in the next episode. We will see if this revolution will last. Bye-bye.